I don't know when Alexis got a man. I like the idea of having a man's voice being on Alexa now. He said I would repeat the song. But anywho, y'all, that's one of my plaids. So I got my hair plaited up. I conditioned my hair yesterday, and I plaited up. But anywho, we just want to give God praise and give him all the glory and the honor. As I was sitting here, I told you I was coming back, so I had to re-wrap this thing. But anywho, guys, plus I wanted to come back with a different scarf wrap do. Okay. But anywho, y'all, I wanted to share with y'all when I was 14 because I felt the Spirit of God. It was like, get off my ear. I rebuke that. Get off. Yep. Thank you, Jesus. Anywho, because the enemy thought he was going to attack my ear just now. My ear started, we don't do that. We don't play. We don't play like that. Blood of Jesus. But the Lord put in my spirit, he was like, as I was sitting in the other video, he put in my spirit, and to share this video, he said, he said, share this story because the story is going to bless many women. But I wanted to come in here and I wanted to share y'all this story when I was 14 years old. When I was 14, and I want to say this again in this video, that this is not to say anything against my mama. My mama said what she felt was right, what she believed, or doors that my mama opened the door to. My mom opened the door to a whole lot of stuff, okay, y'all? But, my mom felt that she did what she needed to do to provide for herself and her family, But when I was 14, excuse me, when I was 14 years old, my mom told me that, I'm looking to see what I did with my glass of water. Hold on, y'all, one second. Excuse me, I wanted to get me a glass of water real quick. But anywho, the Lord like put in my spirit to come and share this. He says it's going to bless, and I want to share this with y'all. And like I said, this is no offense or trying to say anything negative about my mom. I love my mom. I learned a lot from my mom. I learned some good stuff from my mom. Okay, and she did what she felt was right at that moment, or whatever the case may be, or whatever doors that were opened up to her, whatever. So, sometimes we got to understand, sometimes all of us are victims. All of us are victims. Some of us do things out of disobedience, and some does things out of ignorance. And God doesn't, when you do it out of ignorance, he wink at you, okay. But when you're doing it and you know what you're doing, it's a whole nother ball game for you. Okay. So I want to say that let's just say that because I don't want no one to be feeling no kind of way about their parents or, blaming anybody. You know what I mean? You want to blame them for this, that, and the other. I mean, I went through that because I went through the blaming. I did. I went through, and it didn't get me nowhere but pain. Okay? It didn't get me nowhere but offense or whatever the case may be, carrying around, and which gave the enemy right to attack me, to open up doors for me to be attacked. Open up doors where I'm going to tell y'all, I literally would feel a spirit of oppression like it hovered. It wasn't strong on me, but I can feel it in the background. As if it was a cloud, an oppressive spirit of a cloud that hovered. And now and then the sun will shine in, but here all of a sudden this cloud coming to block the sun. And the sun was the joy, the peace that happened. And then the joy and the peace didn't feel real. You know what I mean? It didn't feel real. I had to make myself be happy. I had to make myself be joyful because of this cloud that seemed like it was this oppressive spirit that seemed like it was in the background. Now, I don't feel that no more. I don't feel that. You see me searching, right? I'm searching. Y'all see me searching. That's good. You search. And I'm feeling like I don't feel that. I wanted to fall asleep downstairs in the family room, I was watching a movie and I fell asleep on the couch. And when I woke up, it just, you know, you start the enemy tried to replay feelings and emotions of your yesteryears. You know, like when you were younger, it didn't feel like that. It didn't look like that. It didn't seem like he tries to play so he can mess with your emotions. So I got up and I began to pray, you know, because God began to reveal some things, speak to me on some things. And I began to pray. I began to walk downstairs and begin to pray, and begin to come up against those demons. And I didn't even think about it. Like I came upstairs and began to get myself together and whatever the case may be after, you know. So anyway, let's talk about when I was 14. When I was 14 years old, my mother said to me, and like I want to say about this, I will put it in the captions, that I don't have the right to this song. Lord, I'm about done with y'all, these flies, right? I'm about to kill them. That's why I turn the air on, because when the air comes on, they trying to find an escape to get out. You know, I turn the air conditioner on. So anywho, let's get back. Yo, so when I was 14 years old, my mom said, and a lot happened when I was 14. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to share a lot happened. 14 was also, let me tell you, at the age of 14, my mom told me that I had to get, that she's not going to provide for me anymore. She told me that I was going to have to get a boyfriend to take care of me. She said, you need to go find you a boyfriend that have a job so he can provide for you, because I'm not buying you no clothes, nothing. Now, only thing I'm going to do, make sure you got a roof over your head and you got food in this house. That's it. She said, the rest, you 14, you're going to have to go and find you some boy to take care of you. Or you go find you a man or something. Somebody going to take care of you. Because I'm not. I'm not going to buy you no more clothes. I'm not going to do any of that. And so I remember being devastated at the age of 14. I'm devastated. I'm you know, walking down the street. But let me tell you, that happened when I was 14. When I was 14, my mom's boyfriend tried to molest me at the age of 14. I woke up with him fondling my breast at the age of 14. At the age of 14, the girls in the neighborhood told me they're not going to hang out with me no more. And they told me that they don't want me hanging out. So it drove me out of the neighborhood, which I thank God that I believe it was, you know, what they said to me was mean, and it attached the spirit to my life. So they said to me, you, what did they say to me? They said to me that I was a sex object. I was still a virgin. I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. These girls were older than me. They were like 16 years old, 15 and 16. And they told me, they said, we don't want you hanging around. We don't want you in the neighborhood. We don't want you hanging around. Said, because every time when the guys look at you, they want to have sex with you. No matter of fact, they didn't say that. They said, because you are a sex object, and because you are a sex object, we don't want you hanging around because you hindering us from getting the boys. The guys always want you all the time. All the boys always want to go be with you. So we don't want you around because you know. So I didn't know. That thing hurt my feelings because I grew up with these people for 8 years. So I'm like, what? And they said, we don't want you here. And I remember going home crying, telling my sister that they called me a sex object. And my sister said, what? And I said, I don't even know what that is. I'm crying. I'm like, what? They call me a sex object? I don't even know what that is. So my sister told me what it was. My sister told me what it means. And I'm going to tell you, with my second husband, I remember he was getting into the elevator and he said that to me. So that the Lord revealed to me that was a spirit that's been going through my life, a spirit. This spirit from that word that those girls spoke over me as a teenager, it offended me. I was so offended. I was hurt. And I didn't even know what it was that they were talking about. I didn't even know, like, what is that? And that thing hurt me to my heart, but it chased me out the neighborhood. But I thank God, because God protected me from a lot of, because the kids in my neighborhood, they went into a whole lot of stuff that God protected me from, that I wouldn't have been a part of. And they didn't want me to come to their parties. When they would have their house parties, they didn't want me at their house parties or nothing. They didn't want me to come. They was like, nope, why are you here? You know my boyfriend coming, and my boyfriend Greg come here. I don't want you here. So I will always leave. I always was chased away. So that spirit of always being chased away or being pushed in the background, I had to break that spirit as well off my life, y'all. But I'm going to tell you about when I was 14 years old. And so at 14, that happened. My mom's boyfriend tried to molest me at the age of 14. The neighborhood girls said that to me. At 14, my mom said that to me, told me I have to go find me a boyfriend, or I'm gonna have to go find me a man to take care of me because she's not buying for me no more. So I remember walking down the street and I'm in tears. I'm devastated. My whole world just felt like it was shattered. And I felt confused. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I'm trying to figure. I'm out here feeling like, even though I'm still living at home, I feel like I have to survive, and I don't even know how to. That's like throwing me in the water and saying swim, and I ain't even had no swimming lessons. You know what I mean? Throwing me in the kitchen and say cooking. I ain't never had no training. But God let me meet a young man in my life. I remember every time I would walk past him, before my mom even told me that, he's been trying to talk to me. He always stood on that corner. He always tried to talk to me. And I didn't like him. I was like, I had to keep on walking. And he was nobody in my neighborhood. And so he kept asking me, then he would be like, hey, how you doing? Run up to me. And I would look at him like, what? And he was trying to talk to me. So eventually I did talk to him, and I thank God I did. He was very persistent. And he even walked me to my sister's house that lived like 10 blocks from my mom. He walked with me. And we wound up talking, and he wound up being the one who God used to provide and take care of me. I thank God, because I was thinking like I was going to have to give up my virginity to some old man. And, it was horrible. The thoughts that was running through my mind, it was horrible, y'all. And, but you know what God had, and he was younger than me. I just found out just a few years ago that he was actually he was 2 years younger than me. All this time I thought he was older than me, because he was 12, but he acted like he was grown. And he provided for me. Y'all say, how was he providing there? He used to tell me, don't worry about it. So I'm going to tell y'all, don't worry about it, because that's what he used to tell me. I said, where you get this money from? How you get all this money? He used to say, don't worry about it. As long as you're getting taken care of, you don't need to worry about it. So and I ain't going to tell y'all, I found out eventually, some years later. How old was I when I found out? I don't even know. I think I was in my 20s, my late 20s or something. I found out. But he took care of me, and he didn't leave my life up until all the way from the age of 14. He stayed a part of my life. Like, he would leave and come in and out of my life. And when I really needed him, and I had kids. And if I needed him and I had kids, he would call me, hey, Marty, what's up? And come take me and the kids out to eat and everything. So, but the age of 14, and it was the worst experience ever. 14 was I went through a lot at the age of 14. But God delivered me, and he brought me through that. He brought me through that. So today, God revealed to me that I never broke the spirit of prostitution off of my life, that will give the enemy right to rob me, to hinder my relationships, okay? And when I was in the video, I felt the Spirit of God, and he was putting in my spirit, and I felt like my second ex-husband did some things because he didn't want me to be with nobody else. He didn't want me to be with no one. And that he did some stuff, y'all know what I'm saying, for me not to be with anyone. But and the Lord was revealing that to me just now, and I went, wow. And the thought had crossed my mind more than once, but it was like a thought like, And he and so I'm going to break that. And like I told you, I'm going to take it to my pastor, and I'm going to tell my pastor about it, and get my pastor as a man of God. Wow. I didn't even think about that. The Lord just told me to get my oldest son to do it. He was like, get your oldest son. to break that witchcraft spirit, oh my God, off of you. God just told me to get my son to do it. My oldest boy, praise God. See, for me coming on here, and he told me, it seemed like when I get to talking to people, even when I'm my bestie get to talking, God begin to give me more. You know, so when I get to share, all of a sudden more coming, he start revealing more. It just be flowing. But God is going to bring deliverance to many of you that hear this, that have been molested as a child, been raped as a child, that dealt with divorce, prostitution. But I thank God. I thank God. I thank God for truly delivering. But Kevin, he took care of me. I don't mean to put his name out like that, right? Y'all don't know him, so. But he took care of me, y'all. He didn't. I didn't never have sex with him. Never did. Nope. And he bought my clothes. He bought my books. Yes, he did. He bought my school books for me to go to school. He did. He bought, and he would take me shopping and buy me clothes. He would like my second hole in my ear, he pierced it. I told myself, I'm gonna get my ears pierced. Like whatever I asked for, he spoiled me, y'all. It was like whatever I wanted, whatever I asked for, he took care of me. If he didn't have it, he said, baby, don't, he wouldn't call me baby, y'all. He was younger than me. He didn't call me stuff like baby. He just called me by my name, Marty. He'd be like, Marty, give me a week. Give me a week. One day I wanted a camera for my birthday, a pink camera. And he bought me a pink camera for my birthday. And he was like, here goes some money. And he was, he was good to me. And I ain't seen him for almost 30 years until a few years ago I seen him. And he wasn't the same man that I knew, in my 20s. He wasn't the same man. The last time I saw him was before I got married to my children's father, to my children's dad. Before I got married to him was the last time I saw him. I was like maybe 21, 22. I was 22 because he took me and the twins, Shamar and the twins out to dinner. My husband at that time was living in Hawaii. And Kevin was like, come on, Marty, let me, come on. And I'm not going to tell him no, because this man has been my friend. He's been in and out of my life from the age of 14 up until I was 22 years old. He's been in and out of my life. You know what I mean? But at any time, he was a phone call away for anything I needed. Anything. He never told me no. He never said, Marty, I'm not giving you no money. I'm not doing this for you. He never told me no. And I'm just grateful, the tears is just grateful that God protected me, he protected me. And because I was scared, I'm thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to have some old man at the age of 14. I'm going to have to give my virginity up to an old man and have sex with this old man so he could take care of me. You know what I mean? And that scared me. I was terrified. I was like, oh my God. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to have to wind up having sex with somebody for them to take care of me and all this. I mean, I was devastated, y'all. And I mean, as a 14-year-old girl, I was still a virgin. I wasn't out there like that. You know what I mean? And I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I felt, I didn't. But Kevin, God sent Kevin. And, but when I hear the story of his life, he was out on drugs and he was living life rough, and he almost died. But God blessed him. God blessed him and kept him. And he told me he almost died on the operating table, and the Lord brought him back and everything. He told me, he wasn't out there living that wild life anymore, And we went out, we had a good time, And this was maybe 4 years ago. About 4 years ago. And we went out, we talked, and he wanted to marry me, y'all. He did. He wanted to marry me. He wanted us to be together. And he wasn't the same man that I knew when I was younger. And He told me, he said, money is not an issue. And I believe God made money to not be an issue for him because of, he had a case. He had a really big case because he got hurt on his job and he lost this part of his thumb. And then he had a case, I think, when he had surgery. So he's being taken care of for the rest of his life. Money is not an issue for him. Money is, and I believe God did that because of him taking care of me. You know what I mean? I do. I really do that. Like God, not that God took his thumb. You know what I mean? The enemy was trying to destroy him, but God took what the enemy meant for his bad and turned it around for his good, to where what the enemy was trying to do was to kill him. But God, because of him taking care of me, and he never pressured me to have sex with him, y'all. I'm not, he never did. He never tried to pressure me. He would ask at times, and I would say, no, I don't feel comfortable. And he would say, okay. And I told him I would be concerned if we did stuff like that, it would ruin our friendship. I never wanted it to ruin. So even as I got older, and we would spend time together, and when I was 21, he took me out. He's get one of your sisters to babysit the babies for you, and I'll pay them. Because my children's father, we broke up off and on. We had Shamar, broke up. I got pregnant with the twins. When I was pregnant with the twins, we broke up. So we kind of was off and on, breaking up between the three of those babies, and so, but Kevin was always right there. And I remember him taking me out for Valentine's Day, y'all. And it was so beautiful. It was beautiful. He was good. This man was good to me. Good to me. But he's not the same person today, When I ain't seen him for over 30 years. And we ran into each other. Well, I went looking for him, actually, when I got to Philly, when I moved to West Philly, back to West Philly. 4 or 5 years. This was 2019. It either was 2019, no, 2017 is when I moved back to Philly. So that's 19, 20, 21, 22. So 4 years ago. 4 years ago. So when I ran into him, he wasn't the same person. This is not the man that I knew. This is not the last person. Life really did a thing on him, and his mind is totally, and not that he's like crazy or offbeat, but he's different. He's different. I was being my regular self with him, like the way he knew me when we were younger. I was still me, I mean, I'm 50-something years. I was 50-something years old, and he's 50 something, because he's 2 years younger than me. So 4 years ago, what's that? What, I was 52? No, what, I was 53? Yeah, I was 53. So he was 50. He was either 50 or 51. He was 50. I think he was 50 or 51. 51, because he's 2 years younger than me. So anywho, I better know my numbers, right? So anywho, Kevin just, I don't know, and I was really excited. I thought it was going to be like a rekindling of something between me and him. But he was yucking my spirit. He was yucking me. He was doing things that was reminding me of my second husband, like different characteristics and different behaviors that he was showing me. And I was looking at him like, oh no. And he was, I don't know, he was different. He was just different. So, but we had fun. I enjoyed myself. We had a good time with each other. We caught up. I thanked him. I thanked him for what he did for me. I thanked him. I did, y'all. I was so grateful. And I used to, and my kids know him. Like, they know him. I talked about him. All 9 of my children know Kevin, because I tell them all about Kevin. I always talk about Kevin all their life. So I'm grateful. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all. And I felt like the Spirit of God wanted me to tell y'all, because he said it's going to bring healing to quite a few of y'all. So I leave me some comments. I want y'all to share, like, and subscribe, and leave me some comments. You know, this story right here, y'all getting a little bit of snippet of a book I'm writing. And I'm going to be writing this book, and this story is going to be in this book. I'm going to talk about him in this book. Now, I'm not going to have his real name in it. I will not put his real name in the book. And like I said, but I really thank God for his life. And my prayer is that God would heal him, save him, deliver him, and let him meet the woman that's going to be good for him. Kevin's a good man, y'all. And I thank God for him. I don't know if I should be sharing his real name. But in the book, I will not be putting his real name in the book. But anywho, y'all, I just want to wish y'all an amazing God evening. I think I did all that God wanted me to do for the day. So anyways, I love y'all. And I pray y'all enjoy the rest of your evening once again. Mwah.